It's up there somewhere, but without the cars on the track, I can't tell where they're coming from because it's there.
Well, we should be getting the action passing the way very shortly. I see that the cars are forming up on the dummy grid prior to coming forward to the main grid. For this first event in Q3, which will be for the production category. We have 5 cars out there.
Yeah, I bet it's the
187 is the runner 3 over the moon, 218 Fletcher now, the city said, then it's great for James Stamp. In the 612 VTS, 66 Martin Peters in the 6 Saxo VTS, and 777 is Peters Butkus in the Suzuki Swift.
So the cars all lined up then on the grid for the first of these third heats. Marshall's just clearing, and we're ready to get this one underway. We watch for the green lights, and away they go then. Running, of course, anti-clockwise today, so they swing round to the right, onto the loose, across towards Speedway Straight, the tarmac. You see the Renault Clio running in third spot, the car of Will Noon. As they go over the line, the Honda Civic with Alex Fletcher, by the looks of it, leading the way. Martin Peters in the Citroen Saxo in second place, then it's Will Noon, then James Ash in the Citroen C2, and about 777 running up in fourth place, because Steve's got this piece in place, and it is the C2 behind, by the looks of it, James Ash. So over the line they go then to complete the first full lap. Alex Fletcher leading the way in the Honda Civic Type R. Behind Alex Fletcher is Martin Peters in the Citroen Saxo. Then it's James Ash. In fact, no, sorry, it's 187 then, Will Noon. Then it's James Ash in fourth place, then Kęstutis Butkus now in fifth spot. So through comes the Honda Civic. Once again, leading the way is Alex Fletcher. In second place still it is Martin Peters and in the Citroen Saxo. Those two comfortably ahead of anyone else at the moment. They're on their final lap. They go on to their final lap. The board was out, but they hadn't actually seen it when spotted it. So it is then Fletcher still leading the way in the Honda Civic. But, still coming under a little bit of pressure from Martin Peters. Third place should be the Renault Clio of Will Noon, and in fourth place James Ash in the Citroen C2. 218 Alex Fletcher looking set for a heat win here. Renault Clio 187 of Will Noon there, running in fourth place, I think. In fact, in third place now, but checkered flag is about to come out, and it will be Alex Fletcher who sees that. Then it is in second place Martin Peters, third place for Will Noon, fourth place for James Ash, and in fifth place it is Kęstutis Butkus. So that is the last of the heats for the production category. They'll be back out a little bit later on, of course, for their final, but next up it will be the contenders in the AVM Motors and Coupetage Junior Rallycross category. Well, it looks like we've got 6 cars lining up then for this final heat for the junior contenders. And the second row of the grid, I can see one of the front runners in the championship, and that is number 5, Will Ovenden, in the red and yellow car. The other front runner, of course, number 10, Tyler McAlpin. Still 1 or 2 cars coming up onto the grid at the moment. So very nearly ready to get this one underway. And they are heading down then towards the first right-hander on this opening lap. That runs in second place. I think it could be Luke Holly that leads at this early stage. No, it's not. In fact, it's the 44 car that has the early lead. It's Benjamin Bartlett and Will Ovenden, as I say, in second spot, riding on the pressure. The white cars in third place could well be Tyler McAlpin. Bartlett leads the way just from Will Ovenden in second place. Then it is Tyler McAlpin in third place. Pretty tight between first and second, but just a small gap back then to the third place machine. It looks like it is 119 Teddy McPherson running ahead of 156 Ben Crossley. Then we have 59, which is Holly Woolley, and Harvey Hutchinson, number 8, in 7th place. The battle still raging at the front of the field, and they are virtually side by side now. Then Will Ovenden, who has taken the lead then from early leader Benjamin Bartlett. Tyler McAlpin still running in a third spot currently. Front 3 all very close together now, fighting it out. 119 car of Teddy McPherson running in 4th place currently, I think. Going on between these top 3 at this stage, and then another battle for 4th place. Tyler McPherson and Ben Crossley fighting it up for 4th spot. Will Ovenden leading the way then from Benjamin Bartlett, and then Tyler McAlpin in 3rd place. closing stages now of this heat. Calpin losing a little bit of ground as he runs wide. We'll see the checkered flag the next time they cross the line. Is a heat win then for Will Armington. Second place goes to Benjamin Bartlett. Third place to Tyler McAlpin. In fourth place it will be 119 Teddy McPherson. Ahead of 156 Ben Crossley. And then it's 59 Holly Wally. So heat win then, as I say, for Will Armington. Again, they'll be back out for what looks like it could be a very fiercely contested junior final a little bit later on. Meanwhile, we turn our attention to the 4x4s. Both, I think we only have modified category cars out there now. Unfortunately, we've lost our Clubmans machine. So just a short pause whilst the circuit car is making its way around to deal, I think, with a displaced tyre bundle. And once that is sorted, then we can get this 4x4 heat underway. So we can see three cars sitting out there, one of them being the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4 888 of Thomas Ramanauskas, and then we have the two All-4 Mini Countrymen, 15 Max Langmaid and 93 David Bell. 93 David Bell is the white guy. You see that? He's currently got the door, trying to get some cool air, opening and closing the door to get some cool air in. We are about to get this one going, and it is once again the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo Thomas Ramanauskas that takes an early lead, but Max Langmaid taking right in behind him in the first of the two minis, and in third place it is David Bell. They come down to Mods Brooklands for the first time. Lancer Evo just easing away from the two minis a little bit. Thomas Ramanauskas leading the way as the two minis fight it out amongst themselves. Max Langmaid still fending off David Bell at the moment. David Bell looking down the inside briefly, but then takes back in behind Langmaid and stays in that third spot. Far away from the two 1600cc minis and the 2-litre Mitsubishi Lancer. But, Langmaid in second place is having to think about Bell behind him as well as Thomas Ramanauskas ahead of him. And it looks to me as if Bell is going to challenge any moment now for that second place. So far, and certainly Max Langmaid back on the rear bumper of our leader Ramanauskas, and on the straight, down the tarmac straight, the Mitsubishi able to pull away a little bit, and it all tightens up in the twistier bits. And come back onto the loose. It's still the Mitsubishi Lancer that leads leads the way, but only just from Max Langmaid, with David Bell still in a third place. And now Langmaid right on the tail of the Mitsubishi. Things open up just slightly on that run down Speedway straight. Closes up again into the hairpin and through Toyo. And they are on their final lap. Mitsubishi continuing to lead the way as it has from the start, but not able to break away from the Minis behind him. And Bell looking to challenge, and this possibly contact. Langmaid gets very, very sideways in the second place Mini, but if anything I think he has benefited from that. He seems to have broken away a little bit from the second of the Minis. This is all good news for our leader, Thomas Romanowskis, in the Mitsubishi Lancer, who will take a heat win in this third heat. I think that must guarantee him pole position for the final a little bit later on. Second place will go to Max Langmaid, and third place to David Bell. Up is the first of two grids of cars in the super modified category. We're notified that a couple of these cars won't be out in these final heats, but will be out in the final. And those two cars that aren't given out for the third heat but will be out for the final: number 9 Stephen Watu in the MG ZR Turbo, and 219 Gary Cook in the Ford Fiesta ST. Pretty modest grid by the looks of it for the first of these two runs, and it includes our leader in this category, Fred Ling, in the Fiesta, and it looks as if he is going to take the early lead into the first right-hander on the loose section. And it is Ling then who leads this one from Todd Crooks in the BMW Mini. Is it behind him? Looks like it is. Crooks on to second place in this two-car race. He's doing his best not to let Fred Ling get too far away from him, and to set the fastest personal time that he can to get the best grid position that he can claim for the final. So there is the Mark 6 Fiesta of Fred Ling. 2.4 litres in this super modified machine. Todd Crooks with a 1600 turbo engine in the Mini. Well, a challenge there from Brooks briefly for the lead. So Fred Ling hanging on to the advantage. It was half a second the last time they crossed the line. In fact, virtually unchanged that time over to 2/3 of a second now. Fred Ling looking, I'm not sure comfortable is the word, but certainly not under huge pressure at the moment from Todd Brooks. grid, but we should have pretty much a full grid for the final of the super modified cars a little bit later on. Continuing to stay as close as he can to the Fiesta ahead of him. Let's say trying to set the best time that he can, because once the second grid of modified cars have done their run, then we'll look at the combined times from the two races to determine who gets the best points towards the grid position in the final. But a win for Fred Ling in the Fiesta. Second place goes to the Mini of Todd Crooks, and a second grid of super modified cars scheduled out now. You can see that amongst them will be car number 2, Richard Moore, in the beautiful looking Mercedes SLK V8 4-litre V8 machine. So, as we know, Gary Cook 219 not starting this one. I think Phil Chicken is out there in the Citroen C2 Super 1600 machine. That we will pick up in just a moment. So Phil Chicken battles it out with Richard Moore for that second spot. Initially at least. And Cameron Whitley, I think it is, who leads the way. It is Cameron Whitley leads the way then in the VW Polo Turbo. Ahead of the Mercedes, and then it is the Citroen C2 of Phil Chicken in third place. Chicken running very, very wide and losing some ground to the Mercedes ahead of him. All therefore staying in the second spot. Glorious sounding V8 Mercedes. Still, it is the Polo of Cameron Whitney who leads the way then in this final heat of the day for the super modified machines. Ooh, very out of shape Mercedes there, but hanging on to it, and hanging on to second place as well is Richard Moore. Now coming under more pressure from Phil Chicken, who would love to get second place, I'm sure, in this heat, right on the back of the Mercedes. But, of course, the Mercedes with the advantage on the tarmac and certainly on the straights. The Citroen possibly with the advantage to the tighter, twistier bits. A comfortable lead at the moment then for Cameron Whitley, car number 546 in the VW Polo Turbo. Battle rages between the Mercedes and the Citroen for that second place. And Phil Chicken trying all sorts of shortcuts to get ahead of the Mercedes, but not quite able to do it at the moment. Next time over the line they'll be on to their final lap. Chicken just dropping back a little bit from the Mercedes at the moment. A bit of understeer as well for the Citroen. That's still the fight of this heat. Cameron Whitley looking pretty comfortable at the head of the field, and Phil Chicken trying everything he can to get the better of the Mercedes ahead of him. It's certainly going to be a heat win then for Cameron Whitley in the VW Polo. grab that second place, and it will be the Mercedes then that takes second place in the hands of Richard Moore. And Phil Chicken third in the Citroen C2. We should get the combined times for the two grids of super modified cars in just a moment. But next up, it will be the first of two grids of the BMW Minis. So as the Minis are about to get underway, the combined grid, combined result for the Super Modifieds, it was Fred Ling who was quickest overall, car 39, then 48 Todd Crooks, 546 Cameron Whitley, third, fourth number 2 Richard Moore, and in fifth place number 62 Phil Chicken. As the Minis get away, so this is the first of two grids of these cars. Once again, as it was with the Super Modifieds, we've got one stopping by the looks of it very early on this opening lap, unfortunately, so we're down from 5 to 4 machines. Mechanical problems for one car, but it is the 744 machine that leads the way. Alan Laidler taking an early lead. Down all pretty close together. Laidler continuing to lead this one. Third place it is certainly the number 51 machine of Wesley Wickens. It's number 60. Number 60, it's not number 60 because we don't have a number 60, it's probably number 69 second. See the car that wasn't able to get much further than the start line. He's now retired in the middle of the circuit, but it is still 744 leading the way then. The car of Alan Laidler. From 51 Wesley Wickens in second place. And just a couple of car lengths separating those top two at this stage. So we get a spin there for one of the cars in that leading trio, and that is, I think that was the 61 machine that has, sorry, the 51 machine possibly of Wesley Wickens that had the spin there. In second place, second one because we're not getting a display on the time screen. It could well be 614 actually. Yeah, Abby McGuinness possibly running in second place and battling for the lead, challenging for the lead as well. It's definitely 744. Alan Laidler leads the way. It is 614 about to try and go through into the lead. A little bit of side to side contact there as Abby McGuinness takes the lead, as she does, because running out very, very wide there onto the grass goes Alan Laidler, and that drops him down into second place. And it's Abby McGuinness therefore who leads this one now. By a few car lengths then. They will see the checkered flag the next time they cross the line. And the challenge back on for the lead now, though, in the closing stages of this last lap. But it will just be Abby McGuinness that takes the heat win from Alan Laidler. heat win there for Abby McGuinness. But she now has to wait to see what time the second grid of BMW Minis sets, to see just how she will fare in terms of a grid position for the final. A hard-fought heat there, and some dramatic two-wheel motoring for our second place car, but the next grid of BMW Minis are just about lined up, I think. Just a short pause whilst the car that really didn't get very far at all, and that was the 61 machine, unfortunately, that struggled there. In fact, make that the 81 machine, sorry, James Hawkes, who will return to the paddock, unfortunately, on the back of a tow rope after mechanical problems right at the very beginning of the race. So that recovery work will need to be done before we can see the second grid of BMW Minis out there. Well, the recovery work very nearly completed, and then we will be able to get this second group of BMW Minis running in the Bone Street Autos and Cooper Tyres BMW Mini category, and they were underway. And we'll be looking to better the time set in that previous heat by Abby McGuinness, and getting very close between a couple of them. One car also heading off onto the grass. In second place at the moment it is the 77 machine of Ben Sayer. As they head towards the line on this first part lap. Place then for 144, Leanne Sedgwick. Just a little bit back from Ben Sayer. We get a spin though, and that is that number 20 car maybe of Gus Glass, possibly, who's just had a spin. It's Lynn Llewellyn who leads the way though in 611. Place for Ben Sayer, challenging for the lead, and Leanne Sedgwick back in the third spot. So Lynn Llewellyn at the mirrors of that red, orange and blue car must be full of Ben Sayer behind it. Those three cars all in fairly close order. Still Lynn Llewellyn leading the way then from Ben Sayer in second place. Breaking away now. The other car's about to come on to their last lap. The gap really pretty much unchanged between first and second. We've lost a couple of cars at the moment by the looks of it. Just focus on the fight for the lead though, because it is a tight fight on this final lap, with Lynn Llewellyn still fending off Ben Sayer. And then we have one car running in rather distant third place. That's number 20, Gus Glass, running in third spot. But the fight continues for the lead. And it will be then a win for the 611 machine. Lynn Llewellyn taking the win. Second place goes to Ben Sayer, and in third place it will be Gus Glass, and it looks like it is unfortunately a non-finish for Leanne Sedgwick. So once again we will wait to see what the combined times are for the two groups of BMW Minis before, and then next up it will be the final heat for the classic machinery. So 4 cars out on the grid by the looks of it for the classic. There might actually be 5 cars there. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile we get the combined results for the BMW Minis. And fastest overall was 6:11 Lynn Llewellyn, second fastest 77 Ben Sayer, then it's 6:14 Abby McInnes, then it is number 51 Wesley Wickens, then it is the 744 machine that's showing in 5th place. Then we get 69 Harvey Harman and 20 Gus Glass. But meanwhile our classic machines on their way, and early leader by the looks of it, the Toyota MR2. As in second place it is the Mark II Escort of Lee Wood, who's been pretty dominant all weekend but coming under some pressure in this heat. At the moment he lies second, as I say, behind Mark Jones in the Toyota. In third place it is James McBain, 183 in his Peugeot 205 GTI, and then it's Ryan Stutchbury, number 13 in his 205 GTI. Then we have the Mark I Escort of Dan Swalen, car number 22. But leading the way, Mark Jones in the 2-litre turbocharged MR2. Mark wasn't here with us yesterday, but obviously competing today, running ahead of that immaculate looking Mark II Escort of Lee Wood, car 333. James McBain staying on terms with the leading pairing as well at this stage, and a little bit of a gap back to Ryan Stutchbury, the other Peugeot 205 GTI. Lee Wood right on the back of Mark Jones now, challenging for the lead in this heat, and James McBain ready to profit from any little mistakes that the 2 cars ahead of him might have. Ryan Stutchbury not that far behind either in 4th place. bit tail happy there for the MR2, but Lee Wood not yet able to profit from that. Still, the MRT continues to lead the way. Lee Wood looking to go around the outside, and they are side by side, but then he tucks back in behind the MR2. James McBain right on the back of the Mark II Escort, James running in third place, of course, ahead of Ryan Suchbury. And side by side now the 205 GTI and the Escort, but Lee Wood manages to hang on to that second place, and this is all good news, not only for our leader Mark Jones, but also for the man in fourth place, who has managed to close the gap and get involved in that battle as well. Ryan Stutchbury running fourth. The MR2 continuing to lead the way at the moment. The Mark I Escort still running in the fifth place. That's the car of Dan Swayland, but it really is getting very, very tight indeed, and well, a little bit of off-course excursion there for Lee Wood puts him over the line in first place. Second place for Mark Jones in the MR2. In third place it is James McBain, and fourth place goes to Ryan Stutchbury, and then in fifth place it will be the Mark I Escort of Dan Swayland. Just one more heat to come before we turn our attention towards the finals, and that's the third heat of the day for the SGS Gases FIA Cross Cars. So the cross cars are lined up. We'll be getting underway shortly. It looks like we have about 6 of those, I think, on the grid. Little bit of a delay. I'm just wondering if we've possibly got a jump start. See if one of those cross cars is moved to the back of the grid or not. Marshals are going back out onto the grid to look at that. So indeed it does look as if one of the cars is being moved backwards on the grid as a penalty for a jump start. So I think the grid has now been sorted by the marshals. Should be able to get this cross car Heat 3 underway very quickly. And unfortunately it looks like we've had another jump start. And this time I think it could well be our pole position driver who has preempted the green light and gone forward by quite some way, in fact. So he will need to return to the back of the grid now, presumably. It looks like it's the number 88 machine, Alex Waterman, who has jumped the start now and is moving back, turning around and coming to form up at the rear of the grid. So let's hope it's third time lucky and we can get them cleanly away this time. Marshals are happy with the grid now, and this time they do finally get cleanly away, and the run down to the first right-hander sees all the cars cleanly through there, and back on to the tarmac. It is the 501 of David Atwell there who leads this early stage. It is Atwell leading this one currently. Hanging the tail out there through the left hander now. Is that the 111 machine, possibly Will Butler in second place? Yes, it is. Butler holds on to second behind David Atwell at the moment. Top three breaking away a little bit from the rest of the field in these early stages of the heat. We'll catch who the third place one is in a moment. Hopefully the numbers are a little bit challenging to pick up on these cross cars. Alex Waterman making up of some places after having to go to the back of the grid for that jump start. Is David Atwell who leads the way there from Butler 111. It looks like it is 73 Max Weatherly who runs in third place. Trio cars are the ones battling it out for this heat win by the looks of it, as they've broken away from the rest of the field by quite some way. David Atwell continuing to lead that threesome around. Still place now. It looks like it's Max Weatherly in the 73 machine, and we've lost one of the three cars that was battling at there and has dropped down the order certainly, so it is Weatherly and Atwell who are left to fight things out at the stage. Atwell now looking to establish himself at the head of the field, dropping back a bit. They are on their final lap. And it will be a win then for David Atwell. Second place goes to number 73 Max Weatherly. And we wait for confirmation of the positions behind them. Third place, it looks like it's the 88 of Alex Waterman finishing third. So that concludes the heats. All 3 heats for today have now been run. We still have, of course, all of the class finals and the super final to come. But whilst the event officials work hard to finalise the grids for those finals, we will take a short break.
I'm here with Dan Swayland with number 22, his wonderful Mark 1 Escort. Dan, you weren't here yesterday for round 6, but glad to see you here for round 7. What happened yesterday? What were you doing?
So we were putting the engine in yesterday. So yeah, we weren't here because had a bit of catastrophe earlier on in the week. Monday the cam belt broke, and yeah, it caused a bit of a mess. But we've managed to turn it round just to get it here for 1 round, and that's all we need at the minute. So yeah, it's a shame Darryl isn't here though today to obviously get out together. But it's running very low on power anyway. So yeah, we're just Sunday driving it today. Yeah.
A little bit of driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah. No, it's a shame because obviously I've had to change certain bits of the engine just to get it out on the track, and it feels horrible. But it's still worth being here, obviously, for the championship and just for fun. So yeah.
Well, fun's the key thing, but it's not just rallycross you've been doing recently. You've been doing a bit of circuit racing.
Yeah, that was the whole problem with Monday. That's why the engine went bang. Yeah, we managed 10 laps, but of course it's a rallycross car and wasn't exactly ready for it. That was a rush as well, and yeah, unfortunately it did let us down. But
that was 10 laps of what?
So that was just the first race, and I think the average was about 17 laps at Lyddon, and yeah, we managed 10 good laps, but yeah, then unfortunately it all come to an end, early finish. But no, that was still worth it, I guess. Yeah,
that was a fast forward event, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a modified Ford series. Yeah, just to try it out, and yeah, I went through and got my ARDS licence, so that's all sorted. And yeah, just trying out some things with the car. Yeah.
But not tempted to cut a corner off and go on the mud?
No, it was tempting. Yeah, I did have to pay attention there when I was down at Lyddon. Of course, it is very tempting, but yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's just a whole different type of racing, isn't it? It's just, I do enjoy being out there, not having any control. That is, I think, yeah, the fun.
Well, delighted to see you back with us on the rallycross circuit. Remember, you can cut the corners here, but within track limits, very important. Yep. And the only 1600 in the classic series for this meeting, up against much bigger, more powerful machinery.
Yeah, no, of course, it feels like 50 horsepower against 500 at the minute, but it's still worth it, it's still fun. Yeah, so yeah, keep it up. We'll probably may get out in the final, but may skip a couple heats just to go easy on the engine, and yeah, go from there.
A little sign on the back saying just running in.
Yeah. No, I have already asked to be put at the back of the grids just in case it doesn't go off the line. As you know, some of these other gents are quick off the line. Yeah, so I think that's the best, safest option to go with. Yeah.
Well, come what may. Great to see you here, Dan, and wish you all the very best for the rest of the day.
No, thank you. Look forward to it.
I'm carrying on with my paddock peregrinations and meeting out here with Graham Reed with his wonderful Nissan Pulsar, which looks like it might have seen the finish of its day's activities today. What's happened, Graham?
Unfortunately, we changed the cooling fans over the winter, and yeah, it's just not worked out. The fans have melted a bit too close to the turbo, so yeah, we can't risk the engine. We'd rather play it safe and be able to do Knock Hill, which is the home event. So yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, we'll be back and we'll be ready. So but yeah, we've had a successful weekend. Ironed out a few niggles, and we've finished some races. So yeah, quite happy with that.
And you can't really afford to run this car. It's a very special car, and without proper cooling and in the lovely weather that we've got here in Wales, it's even more important.
Yeah, it's a little bit against us with the way the weather is. Knock Hill's nice and cold, so I'm sure that'll help the cooling system. Yeah.
Now the car is rather special. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I, as you know, I had a Pulsar before. I've got a road one. I blew the first Rallycross Pulsar I had up at pre-event practice at Knockhill, and then when I was looking for spares, this one popped up, but unfortunately it was in Estonia, so not thinking that we'd be able to get it across here, but you know, got quite friendly with the owner. Hi Sven. And we made it happen. We got it across here, and then yeah, it's been a work in progress ever since. So there was two of them apparently rallied in the 90s in Finland. One's in a museum in Estonia, and this is the one that's been very much used and abused. So.
And enjoyed by us, and looking forward to seeing it out on track again at Knockhill.
Yeah, no, can't wait.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to pack up early today, but look forward to seeing you in the next round, and all the very best.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Here in the paddock with Will Noon with this wonderful Renault Clio. Will, it's your first season of Rallycross.
Yes, and I've just got my first heat win as well, which was great. It's never going to happen again, but I've done it now.
You say it never happened, never say never.
Yeah, that was pure luck. Luck and good timing, I think. But yeah, that's all I had, and the car did great, and can't wish for anything else. Just hope for the best this afternoon.
Keep smiling, yeah. Keep the right foot down.
Yeah, exactly. We're here for fun. We weren't expecting to be competitive. I've done one round in it so far. Blew it up at Liddon Hill. So today was a test. Well, yesterday was a test day. Today we're actually going for it and see what it can do.
Now, I'm used to seeing the car with Mark Finch's name on the back. What attracted you to Rallycross?
I wanted to do rallying. No one would get in the passenger seat with me.
Okay then.
Yeah, pretty much that was it. All my friends do circuit racing. It looked a bit boring. So, best of both worlds, this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat it, can you? It's short, fast, a little bit of contact sometimes. Like, it just makes it exciting.
Oh, absolutely. That's why the sport was developed in 1967 originally, for television, short races, sprint, intense action, and lots of smiling faces.
Yeah. I mean, everyone here is brilliant. Like, there's not anyone in the paddock that has a bad word. Everyone helps each other. Like, obviously, being our first year, it's a massive learning curve. Everyone's great. If you need anything, you can just nip next door, see what they've got. It's, yeah, best thing we've ever done.
Yeah. Wonderful to hear. And if you want to join in, you know what to do. Join us in Rallycross. Well, I wish you all the very best for the rest of the day, and maybe another heat win later.
Yeah, I won't push it, but yeah, optimistic, yeah.
Right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. See you later.
Here in the paddock, I've found Steve Ratchew, who's with his wonderful MG ZR. First time I've seen the car. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about your lovely MG here?
Well, we used to have a K-Series engine in it and just wasn't competitive. Would have been thousands and thousands to get even 20 brake horsepower more, so decided to tear all that out, just fabricate engine mounts and put an Audi 20 valve in there and just build it as simple as we can, just so we can repair it as we are now. But yeah, just wanted a nice, simple, reliable car, and just come out and just have fun and not have the dramas of the supercars, and just enjoy the day.
That's an Audi engine that might be found in a TT.
Yep, Audi TT. Yep, 225, and then had a map on it, and then we've got lots more to do. But yeah, just keep it simple. Yeah.
And the rest of the car used to be your daily driver.
Yeah. So Phoenix Rover, when they were around, came out of there. I think it was a year old, like an ex-demo, and great car. And then me and Simon Horton had the Metro GTI, and then we had shared that Peugeot 205, and then just thought, do you know what, that road car, no one's really got any rallycross cars like that. And it was a really competitive car, on the loose, brilliant, just back straights, you just were like standing still, just bye. So, but really reliable, no head gasket problems with that one. It was brilliant car, really good car. Yeah.
So what are the guys working on at the moment?
Engine mount, where we'd welded it to the subframe. We thought it was really substantial steel. Well, it doesn't seem to be, so it's pulled the subframe that we welded out of this. Well, it's actually ripped a hole in the subframe, so we've got to try and just weld that back up again now. But luckily we've got the welder and the generator, so we can repair that and hopefully it stays away.
Well, normally with rallycross cars, things are repaired with duct tape and cable ties,
exactly.
But sounds like a little bit more on this occasion.
You're definitely right there. Yeah, we got cable ties, but if I could, I would.
If you can't fix it with cable ties, you're not using enough cable ties.
Yeah, you're right there.
Well, hope the fellas are able to get you back out on track again soon, and we'll see you out there later on.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks for talking to us.
Well, the dummy grid is starting to form up for the first of our finals, which will be for the production cars. The grid for this one will be as follows. On pole position it is 218 Alex Fletcher in the Honda Civic Type R. Alongside him in the middle of the front row, 626 Martin Peters in the Citroen Saxo VTS. And completing the front row, 187 Will Noon in the Renault Clio. And then on the second row we'll have 284 James Ash in the Citroen C2 VTS, and 777 Kestutis Butkus in the Suzuki Swift. Well, the heats to now have been over 4 laps, of course, but these finals will be over 5 laps. So the dummy grid is formed up then for this first final of the day, production A final, and we just wait for the cars to move forward to the main grid to get this one underway. It'll be the final for the MOT group and Cooper Tyres production category. So the last car is just coming up onto the grid proper to get this first final underway. Ready to get this one underway by the looks of it. And as they get away into the first corner, it looks like it could be Alex Fletcher who takes the early lead in the Honda Civics. In the we have, well, down in third place now, the Renault Clio of Will Noon, and Martin Peters possibly in second place in the Citroen Saxo. So that's the order they come down towards Brooklands Inn. So it is, by the looks of it, Alex Fletcher who leads the way then on this opening lap. 218 machine, the Honda Civic, leading the way from the Citroen Saxo of Martin Peters in second place, 626. Third place then is the Renault Clio of Will Noon, 187. Start their first full lap, just over the finish line. fourth place. I think it might be James Ash, 284 running in fourth place, but certainly it is 187 Will Noon in third. Those two probably the closest together on track at the moment. Go through this second lap. The Civic relatively comfortable at the front. A bit of a lock up there then for the Clio of Will Noon. Fourth place is James Ash in the Citroen C2. In second place it is the man who leads this class in the championship, or did coming into this weekend, 626 Martin Peters. Noon and Ash probably the tightest fight at the moment for third spot. Fifth place is 777 Suzuki Swift in the hands of Stutis Butkus. Battle for third place continues then with the Renault Clio holding on to that position at this stage, mid-final, and Will Noon working hard to close him down. Sorry, James Ash working hard to close down Will Noon. Closer together now than they have for the last lap or so. Butkus still running in fifth place in the Suzuki Swift. The Clio and the Citroen continue to battle it out for third place. At the head of the field it is still Alex Fletcher leading the way from Martin Peters in second place. The Civic looking relatively comfortable at this stage. Martin Peters will of course add to his tally of championship points with a second place finish if that's the way it stays. But it is going to be a final win then for Alex Fletcher in the Honda Civic Type R. Second place will go to Martin Peters in the Citroen Saxo. The battle for third goes down to the flag, and it's Will Noon in the Renault Clio hangs on to that ahead of James Ash in the Citroen C2, and in fifth place Stutis Butkus in the Suzuki Swift. Next up it will be the Clubmans unmodified 4x4 A final. And I'm not sure, we should have the one Clubman's car out there. I don't think we're going to see Graham Reed, unfortunately, in the Nissan Pulsar. The modified contenders, though, are 888 Thomas Ramanauskas in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4, and then he will be on pole position as amongst the modified cars. In the middle of the front row of those modified cars will be number 15. And that's Max Langmaid in his Mini All-4 Countryman, and then on the outside number 93 David Bell again in a Mini All-4 Countryman. And as they get away it is Thomas Ramanauskas that takes an early lead. It is just the three cars out there. Max Langmaid in second place, and in third place we see David Bell. Order in as they come down Speedway straight towards Brooklands for the first time. Mitsubishi Lancer leading the way, close between the two Minis, and they've not dropped that far back from the Lancer, but I think if we're going to have a battle in this final it will be between the two Minis, with Max Langmaid having the better of it at the moment, but David Bell right on his tail and looking to challenge for second place in the final. Langmaid hanging on there in front of the white machine. Romanowska's just edging away a little bit from the two minis. They continue to fight it out. Obviously equally matched machines, very similar machines. And hence we get a close battle, a tighter line there for Bell, but he isn't able to challenge line made at the moment at least. They continue their way around with Romanowska's first onto the loose section, and Langmaid, then Bell. Let's see whether they continue to run in this 5-lap final. Braking, Bell closes up on the back of Langmaid, and I'm showing the acceleration. Langmaid will just edge away a little bit. Not much more than a car's length separating them as they come into the corners, and then it gets to just a couple of feet separating them. Or should that be a few centimetres separating them as they go through the corners. Good battle in between the minis, with Thomas Romanowska's just a little bit clear of them, and I'm sure he'll be quite happy to see the two minis fighting amongst themselves. He can concentrate on his own race. Once again, Bell closing up on Langmaid. Romanowska continues to lead the way. Continues then. Tighter line for Bell, still not able to get the better of Langmaid ahead of him. Very close together now. Most, I think, it's probably about a couple of car lengths at any point. The gap between them, I think, keeps closing up then on the tighter bits of the circuit. And they continue to fight it out. Time through they will be seen at the last lap board. And this battle with the minis, I don't think it's going to be decided until they get across the line the way it's going. But Thomas Romanowska's looking relatively comfortable. He can't relax too much at the moment, but he's got a little bit of an advantage over the two minis behind him. Two minis close up then under braking, and they'll just spread out a little bit as they accelerate down. A little bit of what was that? Just a lockup, slight lockup from Romanowska's, and suddenly he's stopping. There's a problem. I think it's a mechanical problem by the looks of it for Romanowska's, and it is a win. After all that, it's a win for Max Langmaid. Second place goes to David Bell, and a very, very disappointing mechanical failure, and third place to Thomas Romanowska as he limps over the line in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. So I have to feel for him. He's been on top really all through the day, and then right on the very, very last lap of the final, something goes wrong with the car and he finishes in third place. Our next final will be the final for the super modified machines, and on pole position for this one it will be number 39 Fred Ling, alongside him on the front row number 48 Todd Crooks, and then 219 Gary Cook. Fred, of course, in the Fiesta ST, Todd Crooks in the BMW Mini Cooper R53, and then Gary Cook again in a Ford Fiesta ST. On the second row we have number 62 Phil Chicken in the Citroen C2, and 546 Cameron Whitley in the VW Polo Turbo, and then on the third row number 2 Richard Moore in the Mercedes SLK V8, and number 9 Stephen Ratu in the MG ZR Turbo. So those are the cars scheduled to be out in the final. Just a little bit of a delay whilst the Pembrey staff recover the Lancer of the unfortunate Thomas Romanowska's. So we're all set then for the super modified A final. This could well be one of the closest finals, I think, of the afternoon, but we'll soon find out. And I think we might have a jump start. The orange lights are flashing, so we'll wait and see what the marshals have to say about this one. It looks like it could be the Mercedes SLK that has been penalised possibly, and will be moving to the back of the grid. Indeed is at the back of the grid, I think. Now after that jump start, so a little bit unfortunate there for Richard Moore in the Mercedes SLK V8, but I think we will soon be ready then to get this one back, or get this one underway after that jump start. So the marshals place the grid under starters orders once again. And this time it is a clean start. And look to pick up who it is that's made the getaway. I think it is indeed Fredling then that leads the way. Initially at least it's the Polo in second place. The car of Cameron Whitley who went second. But he now concedes that place to Todd Crooks. In fact, is that Crooks he's battling it out with now? I think that is Crooks now that trying to get past him, is it? There's certainly a battle going on for third place, headed at the moment by Cameron Whitley. So Chicken also caught up in that battle. We get a change for third place. It looks like it is Crooks that's in second place. I'll double check that in a moment. Phil Chicken there battling it out with Gary Cook by the looks of it. Gary Cook who missed out on the third heat. A bit of a lock up into Brooklands, allows Phil Chicken to close up on him. So that means, by the looks of it, that Cameron Whitley has dropped back to fourth spot maybe, but it's certainly Fredling that leads the way then. This is the fight, the third place fight is the fight that is closest by the looks of it. Still Fredling who leads then from Todd Crooks in second place. In third place is Gary Cook, T219. Then it is Phil Chicken in fourth position. And our leader in the blue and the white machine is Fredling. And reasonable advantage at the moment over 48 machine of Todd Crooks in second place. Mercedes running towards the back of the field after that penalty for the jump start. Of course, no such problems for Fred Lanes. He continues to maintain reasonable advantage over Todd Crooks in second place in that Mini. Yes, got the Fiesta leading the way from the Mini. And they are on their final lap. Like this will be a valuable maximum point score for Fred Lane in this super modified A final. Pretty comfortable now in the closing stages of this last lap, and it will be Lane who sees the checkered flag first, takes the A final win. Second place will go to Todd Crooks. Through the down the order is the MG of Stephen Ratu, but in third place it is the 219 machine of Gary Cook, the Fiesta Cook. Phil Chicken finishes in fourth place in the number 62 machine. Then it is 546 Cameron Whitley in the VW Polo Turbo. Then it is Stephen Ratu in the MG ZR Turbo, and finally the Mercedes SLK V8 of Richard Moore, car number 2. Rounding off that super modified A final. Next up, the BMW Mini A final. Grid for this one we'll see in pole position number 77 Ben Sayer. Middle of the front row it's 611, it's Lynn Llewellyn, and completing the front row 51 Wesley Wickens. On the second row 614 Abby McGuinness and 144 Leanne Sedgwick. On row 3, number 69, Harvey Harmon. Number 744 is Alan Laidler, and Gus Glass, number 20, in completing the third row. So just looking at the car of, I think that's Phil Chicken, who has stopped out there and will need recovery before we can get this final underway. So the Citroen is towed away, and once he is clear of the circuit, then we will see the BMW Mini A final getting underway. So it is the BMW Minis underway then for their A final. And somebody running wide there onto the grass, a couple of cars wide onto the grass in fact, but one significantly so, dropping right down to the back of the order. Running in second place at the moment is the 51 car of Wesley Wickens. Come to complete their opening lap. And still unshuffling themselves. It looks like our poleman has dropped back quite some way. In fact, he has. 77 Ben Sayer well back in the order now, and right on the back of Leanne Sedgwick. back in about 5th place for Ben Sayer. After that excursion very early on. So I think it is the 611 machine that's leading the way on this early stage, the car of Lynn Llewellyn. Second place then for Wesley Wickens, 51, and then is 614, possibly Abby McGuinness in 3rd place. Ben Sayer trying to make up with some of the ground that he's lost, but not able to do so at the moment. Leanne Sedgwick continuing to fend him off as they fight it out for something like 4th spot. Place, it looks like it is Abby McGuinness running in 3rd position, as we can see Ben Sayer struggling to try and make up ground, still isn't able to do so, even when he tries to go around the outside of Leanne Sedgwick. Still it is Lynn Llewellyn who leads this one though, from Wesley Wickens in 2nd place. Gap back to the 3rd place car, Abby McGuinness. Then we see 144 Leanne Sedgwick still managing to hold off Ben Sayer, number 77. Again, Sayer looking to take a tighter line and make up ground, but not able to do so. But he's now alongside Sedgwick, but on the outside, and I'm not sure whether he'll be able to make use of that and just stay on the inside of the car behind him. That's I think that is Harvey Harmon who is trying to take advantage, but Lynn Llewellyn continuing to lead this one, just ahead of the 51 machine of Wesley Wickens. They will be going on to their final lap shortly. Third place still it is Abby McGuinness, and that fight carries on between Leanne Sedgwick and Ben Sayer. Sedgwick still has the better of it, still holding off Sayer, and things are closed up at the front of the field on this final lap. Still Lynn Llewellyn's hanging on there, but the 2nd place car of Wesley Wickens really challenging in the closing stages of this race. The checkered flag awaits them. Who's going to make it to the line? They're almost side by side as they come to the line, but it will be a win then for Lynn Llewellyn. 2nd place goes to Wesley Wickens. Then it is Abby McGuinness, 614, finishes in 3rd place. 4th place for Leanne Sedgwick. She holds off Ben Sayer, who has to settle for 5th spot. In 6th place it is number 20 Gus Glass. Then we get 744, and just picking up what happened there to 69 Harvey Harmon, not showing in the results at the moment as having completed that last lap. I'm not sure whether that was just a transponder error or not, but 744, the last of the classified finishers at the moment, and that is Alan Laidler. So it looks like 69 did finish, but just hasn't shown up as we get ready for the Classics A final, which should see on pole position number 333 Lee Wood in the Mark II Escort, alongside Lee number 12 Mark Jones in the Toyota MR2 Turbo, completing the front row. It's the 1-3 machine, and it looks like we've got 4 cars out there by the seams of it. A battle for the lead at the moment though between Lee Wood, who just gets ahead of Mark Jones. So it's the Escort from the M2 Turbo. Then it is the Peugeot 205 GTI 183 of James McBain in 3rd place. And it looks like it's Ryan Stutchbury behind James McBain. But the Escort, Lee Wood starting to edge away from the other 3 cars early on in this one. It's the Toyota coming under huge pressure from James McBain in the 205. They were bumper to bumper. James McBain just dropping back a little bit now, and he could, if he's not careful, slip into the clutches of the other Peugeot 205 that have Ryan Stutchbury behind him. But still, it is that Escort that leads the way then, Lee Wood. Mark Jones running in second place, third place for James McBain, and then we see Ryan Stutchbury in fourth position. Bain working hard to try and get onto the tail of the MR2 ahead of him. No such issues at the moment, at least for Lee Wood in the Escort. Battle is all behind him, as once again a challenge is mounted by McBain, who's literally on the back bumper of the Toyota MR2 as they come off the loose back onto the tarmac. Ryan Stutchbury just hanging back a little bit, and he's there to pick up the pieces should anything happen between the two in front of him, but still just hanging on is Mark Jones in the MR2, and the 205 GTI James McBain really trying very, very hard indeed, and Ryan Stutchbury looking to go around the outside of the two of them but can't do it, and will stay in fourth place. But Mark Jones it is who hangs on to that second spot, still fending off James McBain. Ahead of them, of course, is Lee Wood in the Escort. The MR2, the Toyota MR2 and the Peugeot 205 that are fighting it out for second spot. And again, looking to go down the outside of the Toyota, James McBain, but can't do anything about it. And stays in third place. Challenges again, all over the back of that MR2. And again, Stutchbury trying to wide a line, and there's a spin for the Toyota MR2. Mark Jones with a spin and waved yellow flags to warn the others, but all this going on behind our leader Lee Wood in the Escort. Doesn't look like Mark Jones is going to get back underway at the moment. He's stationary as onto the last lap. In fact, we now have a red flag. Red flags come out and the final has been stopped. Lee Wood goes past the stricken car of Mark Jones, and we'll wait and see whether they declare this as a result. I think we have exceeded three-quarter distance, but we'll see what they have to say. Now Mark Jones gets the Toyota MR2 back underway and drives back towards the paddock. And we'll just have to wait for the race officials to tell us what the decision is on that one. So the running order when the red flags came out was that it was Lee Wood leading in the Ford Escort Mark II, number 333. In second place was 183 James McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI, and in third place another 205 GTI, number 13, that of Ryan Stutchbury, and not running was number 12 Mark Jones in the Toyota. So we, as I say, we'll wait for an update from the race officials on that. Meanwhile, next up should be the Junior A final, and the grid for the AVM Motors Coupe Junior Rallycross category sees in pole position number 5 Will Ovenden, middle of the front row number 10 Tyler McAlpin, and completing the front row it is number 44 Benjamin Bartlett, and then on row 2 we have 156 Ben Crossley and 119 Teddy McPherson. And on row 3, number 59, Holly Woolley, number 744. Sorry, I've just jumped grids. Number 8 is in the middle of the third row, and that's Harvey Hutchison. And completing the front row, it is number 326, Corey Paget. So as they get away, it is Ovenden and McAlpin battling for the lead as they go to the first corner. The inside line is Ovenden's, and he takes that lead from McAlpin. In third place, by the looks of it, we have 44 Benjamin Bartlett. That's the order they run in at the moment. Ovenden leading the way then from Tyler McAlpin, from Benjamin Bartlett in third place. So Will Ovenden continuing to lead the way then from Tyler McAlpin. And then Benjamin Bartlett in third place. Those three breaking away just a little bit from the fourth place car, but not much. Ovenden and McAlpin have really battled it out all season long, and the fight continues in this A final. Like in fourth place it is 119 Teddy McPherson behind Teddy. In fact no, it is 156 in fourth place. Ben Crossley, of course, then it's Teddy McPherson. Then it is Corey Paget 326, then Holly Woolley, and then number 8 Harvey Hutchinson. But Will Ovenden is that leads the way then, and just dropping off this lead battle ever so slightly is our third placed car of Benjamin Bartlett. Ovenden McAlpin is really McAlpin really trying to pile the pressure on our leader Ovenden. And as ever, things close up as they through the slower sections, the tighter sections, as continuing to run the one non-Suzuki Swift, the Citroen C2 of Harvey Hutchinson, car number 8. Another one of the white cars that's in the battle for the lead, and that is Tyler McAlpin looking to go around the outside now of Will Ovenden, and not too sure that will work there. I think Ovenden will have that covered, but McAlpin right on the tail of the leader, couldn't really get any closer at this stage, but with just those few car lengths further back again. McAlpin looks to the outside but has to tuck in behind Will Ovenden once again. This fight for the lead really is the battle of the race, the battle of this A final for the juniors. Will Ovenden having to use all his racecraft to hold off Tyler McAlpin. McAlpin using his to try and find a way through, but isn't able to do so at the moment. And they fight on as they go on now to their last lap. And quite clearly this is not going to be resolved until the very last corner. McAlpin continues to look for some way past the red car ahead of him. Nothing at the moment. Ovenden using the optimum line wherever he goes. Plenty of dust ahead of them, but I'm sure they'll cope with that. Lead the run down, and again McAlpin looking to the outside. Can he do that and get the inside line in the chicane? Well, the answer is no, he can't, and it is going to be an A final win then for Will Ovenden in car 10. In car 5, car 10 is Tyler McAlpin finishing in second place. Third place at 44, Benjamin Bartlett. Then it is 156, Ben Crossley, ahead of 119, Teddy McPherson. 326, Corey Paget. Then 59, Holly Woolley, and number 8 is Harvey Hutchinson, of course, in the Citroen C2. That's our Junior A final. One more of the class finals to come before we have the Super Final, and that is our FA8 Cross Car A final coming up next. And the grid for this one should look as follows. On pole position 501 in the blue machine, David Attiwell. Alongside him, number 73 Max Weatherly, and completing the outside, the front row, 111 Will Butler. On the second row, number 23 Luke Holly, and 424 Ethan Rouse, and then we have 88 Alex Waterman on row 3. So just waiting for course car to clear the circuit, and then we should be able to get this cross car A final. Two different makes of car, two different engine capacities as well. Some of these are 600, some of them 850cc, and we have the Yaka Cross SXCs and the Live Life TN5s as well in action in this FIA cross car category. Just about ready to get this underway, and away they go. Six cars out there, in fact, I think, which is what we were anticipating. But they're three abreast virtually as they go across the loose section. Well, certainly running in second place, it is 501, our pole position man. Is that Max Weatherly who leads the way? I think it is the number 73 car leading the way at this early stage. And as I say, a 501 David Atwell. And then a good battle going on for the lower positions. On at the head of the field, and it is the 73 machine then that leads the way, and that's Max Weatherly ahead of David Atwell. In third place then it looks like it is it possibly Alex Waterman, number 88? That's what's showing on my timing screen at the moment anyway, but I think we may have some transponder issues, we'll check. But certainly the top two we know, and there they are, nose to tail, Weatherly from Atwell. Machine ahead of the 501 car. And it looks to me as if Weatherly's just edging away ever so slightly ahead of the field, and we should have change for third place by the looks of it as they come through, and that is the number 23 of Luke Holly, who appears to be running in third spot at the moment. So battles going on all the way through the field in this last of our class finals. Still, it's Weatherly just holding off David Atwell, but it's getting very, very tight at the front of the field on the loose section, and Atwell looking to find a way through as we come into the closing stages of this A final, 5 laps of course, and they will be going on to their last lap the next time over the line, but at the moment at least it is Weatherly leading the way. That's the second, third and fourth machines there overlapping as they go through, but it's still, I think, the 23 machine that hangs on to that spot just about in the hands of Luke Holly. Our leaders really fighting it out now on this final lap. Is there anything at all David Atwell can do to get on terms with the leader, number 73 Max Weatherly? He's not giving up, but they're heading towards the flag, and just hanging on there weatherly, and it is going to be a win then for Max Wetley. Second place to David Atwell, who will take that third spot as they come over the line. I think it is the number 23 machine that takes that third spot. So if that's the case, it is the 23 machine. Luke Holly in third place. I'll give you a full rundown of the six in just a moment. I can confirm now it is Holly that takes third place then, number 23. In fourth place it is 111 Will Butler. Fifth place for number 88, and that's Alex Waterman. And then we get 424 Ethan Rouse. So that concludes our class finals. Next up it will be the super final. We'll look at the grid for that in just a moment. Well, we still await confirmation whether the classic final will stand or whether that will be rerun. It was certainly, I think, over 80%, so it could stand, but we're not quite sure yet. Well, it looks as if we are in fact going to have a rerun of the Classic Final in about 5 or 10 minutes from now. And after that, of course, will be the Super Final. But first, it looks like we will have that rerun in the Classic Final. Just to complicate matters, some of the cars in the Classic Final are also on the grid for the Super Final, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Well, assuming that we have the same grid for the rerun that we had for the original final for the Melius Limited P95 Classic category, we should see on pole position 333 Lee Wood in the Mark II Escort. Alongside him, the man who didn't actually, or was the cause of the red flag, shall we say, in the first run, number 12 Mark Jones in the Toyota MR2, and then on the outside of the front row 183 James McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI. On row 2 will be number 13, another Peugeot 205 GTI, that of Ryan Stutchbury, and number 22 in the Mark I Escort, which I don't think came out for the first run. That should be Dan Swayland, but I think we will probably just see the 4 cars out there once again. So the cars are back on the grid for the rerun of the A Final for the Classics, but one car that doesn't appear to be out there is the Toyota MR2, and only 2 cars of the 3 appear to have actually got off the line, unfortunately, as well. But it is the Ford Escort that once again leads the way. The car of Lee Wood, 333 in second place. It is 183 James McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI. And that is it. We've just got the 2 cars out there, I'm afraid. So, Lee Wood then leading the way from the Peugeot of James McBain. Wood, it was, of course, was leading when the red flags came out. The MR2 of Mark Jones not out there. He was the car that, of course, went off, and as a consequence, we had a red flag. Non-start by the looks of it for Ryan Stutchbury. So it's 333 then, continuing to lead, not really getting away from McBain in second place. Escort driver is just pacing himself, I don't know, but he's not pulling away much at all from the Peugeot 205 at this stage. Still, the Escort just holding around about a second's advantage over the Peugeot behind him. That advantage going up now is up to about a second and a quarter. Looking fairly comfortable ahead of the field in the Mark II Escort. Not, as I say, really breaking away from the 205 GTI. Both 2-litre cars, both running in the same class. Obviously rear-wheel drive Escort, front-wheel drive 205 GTI. Gap is down again now to 3/4 of a second. Is there anything at all that James McBain can do in these closing stages? It does seem visually to be closing up once again on the Escort ahead of him. They will be going on to their final lap the next time they cross the line. Not sure there's too much that will be able to do. This gap once again just stretching out a little bit to a full second between the 2 cars. looks like it will be the victory that Lee would look to be heading for when the red flags came out on the first run of this final. And it is then victory for Lee Wood, 333 in the Mark II Escort, and second place going to 183 James McBain in the Peugeot 205 GTI. Still to come, the Super Final. We have a grid for this. We also have a reserve list of 10 cars should any of the 10 that are gridded initially should they not make it to the start of the Super Final. But the grid that we anticipate seeing, just try and run through that in a moment. On pole position it should be the Ford Fiesta ST number 39 of Fred Ling, alongside Fred number 48 Todd Crooks, and completing the front row, the car that we've just seen win the Classic Final rerun, and that is of course 333 Lee Wood in the Escort. On the second row we should see 219, and that of course is Gary Cook in the Ford Fiesta ST, and 888 the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4 of Thomas Romanauskas. On row 3 we are scheduled to see car number 12 Mark Jones, but of course he didn't come out for that rerun final then in the Toyota MR2, and 183 James McBain in the 205 GTI that we've just seen out there, and then rounding off row 3 number 51 Wesley Wickens in the BMW Mini, and then on the fourth, the back row, number 15 Max Langmaid in his Mini Countryman, and number 93 is David Bell in his Countryman. So that's the 10 cars that are initially scheduled to start this Super Final. As I say, if for any reason any of those cars don't line up, then we will have some reserves in place to take their place. A couple of cars already on the dummy grid and starting to move forward. Well, at the moment it's looking like a Mini dominated grid that is coming up. away they go, and we're just trying to resolve whether this is for some reason the mini final being rerun, or whether we've just only got 5 minis in the super final. I think it could well be a rerun for some reason that hasn't been passed on to us, of the mini final. Leading the way though at the moment, whatever the answer to our mystery. Well, it's Todd Crooks's mini, so it is not a rerun of the mini final, because he doesn't run in the mini class as such. He's in the super modified category. So it just happens to be all minis that are running in the super final by the looks of it. And the number 48 car that leading the way, as I say, is Todd Crooks running his super modified category car. Coincidence that it's all minis that have turned out for this one. And I think third place it's the 144 machine, that's Leanne Cedric in third spot at the moment in this final. Try and pick up who is running in second spot. Could well be Abby McGuinness actually. We'll just have to wait and double check that. I don't think that is 614, but we'll have to come back to that, I'm afraid. It was not very visible, we have nothing on the screen at the moment. In fact, 614 is showing as being out there, so it could well be Abby McGuinness then in. Yes, it is 614 then in second place, ahead of Leanne Cedric in third spot, and then it is 77 in fourth place, and that is Ben Sayer then running in fourth spot. Behind Ben Sayer, I think that could well be the 51 machine of Wesley Wickens. But it is Todd Crooks then, who's, given that these are the standard minis, Todd Crooks is in the super modified mini, not perhaps too surprising that he is leading the way in this final. Abby McGuinness still running in second place, and Leanne Cedric in third place with right on her tail now Ben Sayer. And then it is the 51 machine of Wesley Wickens. So those are the 5 cars that are out there. And then it's 6-second lead now for Todd Crooks, as we get almost 3 abreast and plenty of blocking up and lots of action there at the fight for a third spot. I think it is still Leanne Cedric who hangs on to that in the 144 machine, but only just. And behind us still it is Ben Sayer, just ahead of Wesley Wickens. It is a comfortable lead for Todd Crooks at the moment. And in fact they are on their final lap now. And over the line it is a win then for number 48, Todd Crooks. Who's going to get second? Who's going to get third? More to the point, because that is getting very frantic, and it is, I think, just at the last moment Ben Sayer who has grabbed that third place. Second place went to Abby McGuinness. It's Wesley Wickens in fourth, and dropping right back to fifth right at the end it is Leanne Cedric. So that is the conclusion of the super final. That concludes the action here at Pembrey in round 7 of the BTRDA Clubmans Rallycross Championship.
So, a very big thank you to everyone for coming along today and yesterday to enjoy the Rallycross here at Pembrey. Don't forget to think that's coming up. Again, some more action still to come through the course of the leading the Cup racing in early October. So watch out for that. to Pembrey. BTRDA.net website for information on what's coming up here at Pembrey. But for the kingdom, myself, Peter Hughes, on behalf of Pembrey Circuit, and BTRDA Rallycross Championship, thank you very much for your support. We hope you've enjoyed it.